My Garmin broke in the Smoky Mountains on day 3. I went to bed with 47% power, powered it down, and woke up in the morning with a dead battery. And I was suspecting something was wrong with it. It just needed a lot of recharging, and it also wouldn't connect at all and gave me a lot of trouble. So I returned this to REI. Came all the way home to Connecticut. There's none of these available on the East Coast. REI was completely unable to help at all. So I went to Bass Pro Shop, and they hooked me up with a new one with a 2-year warranty. And because it was $100 off, it even came out to less money than buying one without a warranty. So no more troubles with that. And while I'm going over gear fails, let's talk about this garage gear mat that all the thru hikers are raving about. Clearly they are sponsored, because everyone on trails said, these were just ripping apart in the side pocket of my backpack. This is not abrasions from the ground or anything. It was from the little loose string, the loose string that went around it. It was just barely touching it and tore it all up. So it's completely destroyed. And other people also said theirs, where they folded it and creased it, holes were coming through. So that's staying here. And while I was at Bass Pro Shop, I bought this kind of sit pad instead that'll be tougher and hold up. The other thing I found is my Enlightened equipment was really good most of the time, but when it dropped below 35 degrees, I was getting a little chilly. So I had a Sea to Summit thermal liner at home that hubby sent to me, and now I'm completely cozy. And I really do like that I can pull this out and wash it. Now, the one thing about it, when I had it with my Nemo sleeping bag, when I wore this and turned, it got caught in the Nemo, and you ended up like corkscrew tangled up in this. But with a quilt, this actually stays with you as you turn and doesn't get caught up in the quilt. So it worked out really well where I thought it might not. But sleeping bag liner, definitely the way to go. Another item that didn't work out for me personally was the Hyperlight food cooker, where you put your food in a Ziploc bag and then just let it soak and cook in there rather than continue cooking it over a flame. One of the reasons it didn't work is Ziploc bags are hard to find in hiker boxes. So you end up buying a whole box of these just to get like 4 or 6 of them. It was ridiculous. A lot of garbage, a lot of waste. And after you finish cooking and have all that goo in this bag, you're trying to seal the bag up after you've eaten out of it and make sure there's nothing in that track line like cheese sauce or anything, or rice butter sauce or whatever it is. So it was hard to seal them. And then you have all this weight of rotting food in your pack for 3 or 4 days. It was just kind of gross. Like, if anything's going to draw the attention of a bear, not that I was worried about that. It was just gross. And the other issue was hikers trade food all the time. You know, they'll say, hey, I'll trade, I got a ramen. Does anyone have a mac and cheese? They don't want these bags that are, I should say, like this. They're like, I have this. Like, no, they want packaged food. So packaged food trades are the way to go. And you're kind of left out of the deal if you're doing it this way. It was extra weight. It was kind of a pain in the butt. You still have to clean up this mess. I would rather clean a pot. It was easier to wash out a pot than to mess with all this gooey stuff. So that's what I found. Another thing that didn't work out was the bidet system. I don't care how much you spray. You're going to follow it with toilet paper and go, this ain't clean enough. So just go with the toilet paper. Everyone on trail was getting rid of every kind of bidet system there was. They just didn't work. You're not going to be very clean. So I was really glad I had all the toilet paper with me. And also I got rid of the peanut butter jar peeing in the tent. It just ended up being easier, even if it was freezing cold or raining, to just go outside and pee. So don't even bother with peanut butter jars, which I kind of suspected, but ended up being true. This is the Write and Rain pen and paper everyone talks about. The pen is really heavy. It's like a waste of grams. I found that anything I wrote in here about daily mileage, I was tracking and far out anyway, and I could just do a screenshot of where I ended up. So there was no point in carrying that around. My Hilltop bag, which I really loved, my custom print, I'll tell you what's wrong with it, and I didn't know it. It only has a snap in the middle, not like my Z-Packs. Oops, sorry for that noise. The Z-Packs has a Velcro, here we go, that goes all the way across the top. So when it's packed full of food and you roll it down and clip it, it's sealed. This, when it was packed full of food, there were some times where this wouldn't quite close well. You couldn't get a good roll on it, and I thought rain might get into it. I really was disappointed with this. However, I love, where is it now? The Hilltop dog bone works amazingly well. But as you know, I did it with a screw carabiner, and people were having trouble with the clip carabiners catching on other lines and tangling up. So definitely go with the screw carabiner, because people are hanging that when you're doing tree hangs, multiple people are choosing the same trees because there aren't many trees to choose from. So don't go with a clip carabiner. That did not work out for some people. Another thing I changed is I had removed the strap of my fanny pack. Again, this is a Hyperlite, just to save weight, and I had woven my hip belt of my backpack through it. It ended up being a real hassle because anytime I wanted to collect water or just stop for a minute, I had to like take the belts off, take this off the belt, take the backpack off. It was a struggle to do, and it ended up being way easier with a strap. I actually had this for the last week, and it worked amazingly well on its own strap. Don't put it on your belt loop. So I thought I'd show you what the new bathroom kit looks like. Cooler cloth, deuce. I did end up getting a hand gel. The soap was really hard to use. I still use the soap all throughout the day and to do laundry and everything. But this actually works better for quick bathroom runs, and so it's a combination of both. Pea style. And then what I do is I roll up 6 sheets of squares of toilet paper, and for the day this goes in here. And then I count out how many days I have to hike, and I add 1 or 2 extra, and I roll them into rolls of 6. And this stays in the bear bag. And the reason for that is that way if it's raining or anything, your toilet paper doesn't get all wet, and it keeps you on a ration of how much toilet paper do I have left and will I make it? So I do little rolls. Another change that I made, this bottle leaks all the time. It's just not made to go in a backpack. So we're getting rid of that soap, and I got some Sea to Summit Wilderness Wash. It actually comes in smaller bottles, but they were out of stock. So I have the larger one for now. Switching that out. So I finished up my honey, which was amazing. I just started sucking it out of the bottle while I was walking. But since I ran out, I'm filling it with olive oil, and we're gonna give that a whirl. Other than tossing out my earplugs, no earplugs will block out the snorers. Let me just tell you, it is that loud. It is like a bear fighting a mountain lion all night long. You either get used to it or you don't. So don't even waste your time with earplugs. But my battery and recharger, this actually was wearing out after about 3 days and wasn't working out well at all, my anchor. And a lot of people were having trouble with their anchors failing or anchors failing. But anyway, it just wasn't enough battery power, and we're bumping it up. So, and I just use a phone, my Flextail, which hardly ever needs charging, the Garmin, which is supposed to hardly never need charging, but I had trouble with that broken one, and a night cord, and this still was not enough for more than 3 days, topping things off. So I'm a conservative battery user, and I had trouble. So we're going to the wham it on. They're heavy though. It's going to add weight to my pack, but I'm strong enough now. Who cares, right? I'd rather have a secure battery pack. And I don't remember, I think this is 20,000 and 10,000. And always get the chargers with the fold-ins so they don't make holes in your stuff. And a few new cords. And this should keep me, I'm just going to use this one, and this is an emergency backup, because I did have a day in the Smokies where the Garmin drained all my battery out and I had no electronics and had to get out of there. So now I'll be safe. Things are scary, cemetery, red widow.